Yeah, they did another MRI today, and the extent of the bone bruise is more than we thought, because I think the initial MRI was so quick they didn't see it. He's got a little fluid in there as well, but really nothing new. It's substantial bone bruise, and it's taking time, and there's a good chance he'll be on crutches for a few days to try to just get completely off it.
Joe, how do you look at that news? Is good news that it's nothing major and you will be getting him back, or still frustrating because there's no essential time frame as to when?
Yeah, well, I think it's good news that, there's not something broke or that situation, but, the frustrating part is we're not sure how long he's going to be out.
Is there any part of you that wonders if he'll make it back after this extended period of time and still kind of get back in the station?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, obviously there's, 35, 36 days, and you kind of expect him back, but, I'm not going to say, it's going to be a week, 2 weeks. We really don't know. I think they'll probably keep him on in a few days. They talked about it. I'm not sure because I'm not there to witness what he's doing, but I think they talked about just getting him completely off it.
A lot of guys adding into the roster.
Yes.
How much of a luxury is it to have all those options in the area?
Well, I think it helps us. It helps us in a lot of different ways. From a physical standpoint, I think it really helps us. We have pinch runners that I think could really help us. Because there's more than one guy that we could pinch run from on occasion. You add some arms where in some days, maybe you don't have a couple guys, and there are a couple guys you don't want to use in that time, you can use them. So I think it helps you on a lot of fronts.
You mentioned the pinch runners. How much did you know about 3 runners? Have you actually seen him?
Well, I've never seen him play, but I knew they were using him down there in situations like we would use him here, and he was basically practicing that. So it's really good to have a guy that can fly.
When did they start kind of putting him in?
I think a couple weeks.
He always have the green light?
I mean, there'll be situations. If a guy's really quick, you're not going to, in a sense, say go. But there's going to be a lot of situations he will.
So he said he's reluctant to skill bases with guys that have a lot of big experience in it. So is he there to skill bases, or is he more of a...
It could be both. It could be both. I think you have to pick your spots. You look at the guy last night. I mean, he's a 1-3 to home, and he's left-handed. You can't run on that. I mean, that's, and I think when you look at guys, there's been 3 attempts on a guy all year, and he's been here for 25 starts. I mean, you start to say, what makes you think that your guy is that much faster than everybody else? So there's just the one thing that I've noticed in the game is I think that pitchers have really gotten back into paying attention to base runners and being quicker to home.
And his base stealing in an area that you've been disappointed in your team, especially with Gardner and out there?
No, because I don't necessarily think there's been a ton of opportunities. There haven't been a bunch of guys that have been 1-5s and 1-6s to home where you'd say it's a no-brainer. There just haven't been. I think you have to really talk about it now, because I think our hope was that, when we left on that road trip, that you would have Tex back by the time you got home, or maybe even on the road trip. But now, I mean, I think you have to think about it, because you're going to see left-handers. There's left-handers in our division. We're seeing a lot of division opponents in the next 32 games or whatever we have left. So I think you have to start debating the idea. Something that we'll talk about. I mean, he could be an option. I could put Rhino there as an option, but it's something we'll talk about. Yeah, I mean, there are options too. We'll probably get asked some more work there. I mean, it's something that he did in college. He has not done a lot of it lately, but it's something I think Romine's played 24 games the last 2 years.
Acting for the last couple of years and some notes.
We just had him moving around. We figured that he's played most of the outfield, so that's what he's most comfortable doing.
Joe, would you start Schneider tomorrow, or
We'll see. We'll worry about tomorrow.
Or are you in general viewing him as a starting option or more of a
No, I'm open to anything. It's just don't worry about it tomorrow.
Why Alex in the fifth in the 5-hole?
Just taking advantage of what Carlos has really been doing. Yeah. Slider and split. It's kind of what you look for. See how crisp they are and how the swings that he's getting on. I just think his stuff has been pretty consistent. He's given us some distance too, which I think has been important.
What do you think Alex might benefit from
Well, I think Alex can be productive wherever he hits. It's just, you're trying to break up your left-handers, protect your left-handers a little bit. Tonight we have 5 in a row. It's not the most optimum way to have your lineup, but some of them I won't pinch hit for, and then I have pinch hit options that I can use.
It's been a long road back for Andrew Bailey.
I am. I think he's been through a lot. A couple of years of rehab, basically. Has had setbacks, has had surgeries, and I'm sure he's been looking forward to this day. And you tip your cap to a guy that perseveres like he has. I mean, this was a guy that was a closer, was pitching extremely well, and went through a bunch of injuries, and was never sure if he was going to make it back, but he's back, and that's pretty cool.
Do you look at him differently because of the experience that he's had?
Yeah, you know that the emotion and the setting is not going to probably affect him as much as you might worry about a guy that's never been up or is young.
How do you use it?
I think it's been pretty good. I'm not sure what his record is, but his ERA is in the 3s. Has he got 10 wins? 9, 10? I mean, he's pitched pretty well.
Do you think he's as good as he was last year? Pre-injury.
Yeah, I do. The one thing is that the league knows him now. I mean, that's the difference for a lot of pitchers. You have to make adjustments because the league understands what you're going to do in certain situations. When you haven't faced a guy for ever, I mean, you have no idea what he's going to throw 2-2. What's he going to do here 1-2? The league has a better idea, and he continues to make adjustments as well. Right. Right.
Do you think Tanaka has that type of stuff to be that consistent that long time, or does he still have a lot of work to do in terms of making those adjustments against teams that I know?
No, I think he has the ability to do that, but I still think that there are adjustments that he can make. And to me, it's the consistency of his split a lot of times in his slider. And if those aren't going to be consistent, then it's going to be tough. When you talk about the top-notch pitchers, their stuff is pretty consistent every day. Just, yeah, whatever it is.
Part of that, not only keeping it healthy with an eye towards not having to do it in September, are you okay putting him on 4 days rest whenever that falls out?
We could very well insert another guy in through this next stretch of 13 games. So just for all of our guys, but you look at him too. You have Pineda, you have who's rested. You have Nova, who's coming off what he came off of. Eba, I don't worry about too much. But for Tanaka too, yeah. I'm not sure.
For a while you guys obviously talked about Tanaka and Pineda, not necessarily 1-2, but the top guys there. Has the evolution of Severino coming up and evolving the way has that changed the way you thought about the rotation, or if those guys become more, not really thinking changing about the order, but has
Right.
the rest of the guys elevated themselves, or maybe likely to maybe
You know, I don't really,
about that?
I don't think as a manager you think a whole lot about that until you have to set up your rotation. Either you're setting it up at the beginning of a year, or you're setting it up for the playoffs, because there's a lot of baseball to be pitched. And right now, you know, as I always say, your number one guy's the guy that's pitching that day. That's all that matters. But Evo has definitely matured. Sevy has pitched extremely well, and we'll just see what they do the next month.
Joe, he threw a bullpen yesterday.
He's thrown a couple.
Yeah, Cashman actually raised the possibility that he could get back into the rotation.
Yes.
It really seemed like a possibility when he first went to the deal. What's his time frame?
I believe he's going to throw another bullpen on Wednesday. He's going to throw a simulate game on Friday, I believe, and then we'll see where he's at after that.
Do you expect the Hines to be added in Rumble already?
Yeah, but their days aren't up yet. I have no idea. I mean, I really don't. You know, because I would have thought he would have been back by now. And obviously I was wrong. So it's just, you don't know how long it's going to take.